Welcome back to day 39. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of Aaron's priesthood as described in Exodus chapters 28 and 29. These chapters lay out the detailed instructions for the sacred garments and the consecration ceremony.
Yeah, it's fascinating how specific and intricate the design of the priestly garments are. Each piece has a purpose, not just for aesthetic value, but for the function they serve in the sacred duties Aaron and his sons are about to undertake.
Absolutely. So let's start with the garments themselves. The first thing that stands out is that the garments aren't just any clothing. They are described as for glory and for beauty. It's almost as though they were meant to reflect the sacred nature of their work.
Right? It's like these garments are a visible representation of their role. They weren't just about looking good, though let's be honest, they sound pretty regal. The ephod, the breastplate, the tunic, and all the intricate details had a symbolic function. Like the breastplate, with its 12 stones representing the 12 tribes of Israel. Each stone was engraved with the name of a tribe.
It's wild to think how much thought went into each detail. The breastplate is not just beautiful, it's a judgment tool, right? It held the Urim and Thummim, which were used to discern God's will. That's a pretty powerful piece of clothing.
Oh, definitely. It's incredible how each item was made to serve both a practical and symbolic purpose. The ephod, for instance, was a garment that not only had the stones of the tribes, but was also connected to the priest's responsibility in representing the people before God.
Exactly, the weight of it all. Aaron was carrying the names of Israel on his shoulders and his heart. The two onyx stones on the ephod were memorial stones, a constant reminder before God. And speaking of weight, the ephod itself sounds heavy. It had to be made of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet, woven with fine linen. Talk about luxury in the service of God.
For sure. And it's not just about the weight of the materials. The ephod also had a purpose in how it was structured. It had 2 shoulder straps joined together and a band of woven work. All this was to ensure it fit properly and didn't get loose or fall apart, which makes sense since it was meant to represent the people before God.
Absolutely. And we can't forget the robe, which was all blue with pomegranates and golden bells on the hem. Imagine that sound when Aaron would walk into the holy place. The bells were meant to alert others that Aaron was performing his duties, and even to ensure he didn't die from entering the presence of God unworthy.
It's like every detail serves as a safeguard, a reminder of the sanctity of the role Aaron was about to take on. The bells were essentially a warning bell for holiness. But let's not forget about the holy crown on Aaron's turban, engraved with the words, "Holy to the Lord." That's a pretty bold statement to wear on your forehead.
It really is. The idea that Aaron was bearing the iniquity of the holy things the Israelites would offer is so deep. That crown represented purity and consecration, showing that Aaron was not only a mediator but also anointed to bear the weight of Israel's spiritual life before God.
Exactly. And then there's the entire consecration process in chapter 29. It's like Aaron and his sons are being set apart through this ritual, which includes animal sacrifices. There's something so profound about the act of laying hands on the bull and ram, transferring responsibility onto these animals, and symbolically taking away sin.
That's a great point. The act of laying hands was like an intentional transfer of sin, a physical representation of how the priest stood in the gap for the people. The sacrifices were so much more than just rituals. They were about atonement, purification, and consecration.
And let's not forget the whole process of anointing with oil. There's something incredibly powerful about the image of the anointing oil being poured over Aaron's head. It signifies not just a physical act, but a spiritual one, where he is set apart for a divine purpose.
Exactly. And then the bread and the unleavened wafers, they were part of the offering too. These weren't just for sustenance. They had a specific role in the ritual, reinforcing the sanctity of the process. It's about purity, obedience, and devotion to God.
And the whole 7-day consecration period is so significant too. It wasn't a one-time event. The priests had to be sanctified day after day to ensure they were fully prepared to minister to God. That repetition shows how seriously they took holiness. It wasn't a quick fix, it was a continual process of purification.
Absolutely. And when we think about the sacrifices, especially the burnt offerings, they weren't just about sacrifice for the sake of it. They represented dedication, a pleasing aroma to God. It's like a constant act of worship, a way to keep the connection with God alive.
And all of this culminates in God's promise to dwell among the Israelites. It's not just about the rituals and the garments. It's about the relationship. These actions were designed to make the people aware of God's holiness, preparing them to live in His presence.
That's so true. The idea of God dwelling with his people is such a beautiful thing. Through these detailed rituals and sacred garments, God was setting the stage for a lasting relationship with Israel, reminding them of his holiness and their need for purity.
And it's powerful to think that Aaron and his sons, through these rituals, were going to be the ones to mediate that relationship, bearing the names of the tribes, representing the people, and making atonement on their behalf.
Yeah, these chapters in Exodus are so rich with symbolism. The garments, the rituals, the sacrifices, they all point toward a deeper spiritual truth about the need for holiness, atonement, and God's abiding presence.
It's incredible to see how such a detailed set of instructions was designed to teach the Israelites about God's holiness and how they were to approach him. It's not just history. It's a profound spiritual lesson that speaks to us today.
Absolutely. The importance of setting apart something or someone for God's purpose, whether it's a garment or a person, is something that resonates deeply. It's a call to holiness that goes beyond mere appearance.
And we should remember, even today, that the way we approach God, whether through our actions, our lives, or our worship, should reflect his holiness. Exodus 28 and 29 remind us of the reverence and care we should give to our relationship with God.
Well said. And with that, we'll wrap up this discussion on the priesthood of Aaron and the sacred garments. We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the significance of these chapters.
Definitely. It's amazing how something so ancient can still speak to us today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Take care. God bless.